Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will get started here momentarily. We're excited to have you with us. I am Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services with the Arizona Commerce Authority. And if you haven't been with the boot camp before, we'd like to start out by thanking all of our community partners. We couldn't do these webinars without them, their time, their effort, and their expertise. We have over 120 community partners that have helped us with the boot camp, and they've been outstanding. So again, for those that are new, the boot camp is designed to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow. It is a statewide initiative supported by all of our community partners. And not only is it the content library, but it is also access to a series of workshops that we do with our community partners. So we're going to talk about these. Now, the workshops, our next one is planned in May, and more details will come with that soon. But let's talk about the content library, because it is an amazing tool as well. So starting with the beginning of the boot camp series that we started nearly 3 years ago, we started recording them and placing them in a library so they can be easily accessed and reviewed at any time at no cost. And so now we have a diverse collection of well over 250, probably closer to about 270, 280 webinars that you can access at any time. You can sort that library by those 7 different topics you see on your screen to help narrow down what you might be looking for. But these are all awesome presentations by our experts that you can view. And we also include a copy of their slide deck that you can download as part of that as well. And you can find that at the bottom of the Small Business Bootcamp webpage. So amazing tool and resource. Some other programs and resources that are available to small businesses that the ACA has are Small Business Services, our Workforce Division, and our Arizona MEP, our Manufacturing Extension Partnership. These are all great programs to support small businesses getting started and growing and becoming not small businesses. We also have, for businesses, both small and large, anybody looking to start a new business in Arizona or expand into other parts of Arizona or other industries, we have our Small Business Checklist program. And this is an online interactive tool checklist that can help entrepreneurs understand the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance requirements at the local, state, and federal levels. So it's an amazing tool that lists a lot of great information. As you see on there, we have a little virtual assistant in the right-hand corner of the screen there. Now that is Sally, our virtual assistant, and Sally can help you find some quick answers to some of the licensing information, but if you really want a deep dive, then go through the checklist. Also, let's talk about some of our upcoming sessions. We've got a great lineup coming up over the next few weeks. Next Tuesday, we'll have our presenter for today, Lori, back with us again on writing a compelling capability statement. For those looking to, as it says, it's an essential part of government contracting, so key piece there. And then on Tuesday evening, we have our Spanish language boot camp, making better decisions with Google Analytics. And that, again, that is Spanish, 100% Spanish only on that one. And then on Tuesday, the 25th, we have Build Your Professional Brand. We're excited for that one as well. So we've got a great lineup. And again, every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., we'll have a webinar with a few exceptions due to certain holidays. And so with that, we're going to jump right into today's session, and we're going to introduce Lori Jesus from Apex Accelerator, formerly the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So Lori, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bob.
And if you have questions while Lori's pulling up her presentation, for all those questions, please place them in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. That way we can use the chat for some other interaction, and we won't get your questions won't get lost. Lori, we're seeing your presenter one again, so.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect. No, it's good.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks again, Bob, and welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us, and I want to say special thank you to Arizona Commerce Authority and everyone who participates in, helping us spread out our services that Arizona Apex presents. So, and services we provide small businesses. All right, so I'm going to go into our agenda. So what we're going to cover today is registering for government contracting, and that's on all levels. It's not just on, the federal government or just the local government. So our agenda is going to consist of the System for Award Management, which is SAM. That's a federal for federal contracting, the Arizona procurement portals for contracts in Arizona, city and county vendors, and certification requirements. Okay, a little bit about our program, the Arizona Apex, which was formerly the Arizona PTAC program. Our program works with companies that are ready for government contracting, and like I said, of all levels. So it's not just geared towards federal government contracting, because we believe that if we present the local government, state government, and federal government, starting out small can help you build to create that past performance that the federal government really likes to see. We provide this by no-cost one-on-one counseling to businesses throughout Arizona. And we are located throughout Arizona. I believe we have 5 locations now. Okay, we're going to get right into SAM. So the System for Award Management. This system used to take DUNS numbers, and they ended October of 2022. Since October 2022, it has been it's been having a lot of problems. The system is not recognizing a lot of addresses and stuff. So we work with businesses to help them get their companies registered in this. It's just a progress of finding out what works and what doesn't work. So if you're having problems right now and you can't get past getting fully registered in SAM, give us a call, because it changes on a daily basis. It's not just something that, it's fixed and it's good for, forever, because we are finding ourselves that it's taken time to get through the system. Okay, so when you go into SAM, you have to create a user account on login.gov. So creating a user account does not mean you're registered in SAM. A lot of companies feel that when they create that login, they're registered. You can also just register for a UEI, which is the new DUNS number. If you register for a UEI and don't go through the complete SAM process for government contracting, you're not registered and you won't show as active. So if you need us to look at your account to see if you're fully registered, let us know, because it's a lot of companies are going after contracts and they're not fully registered in SAM. So double check to make sure your SAM has to say active on it. When you go through your registration, they're going to validate your address, and that the way they validate that is through the Arizona Corporation Commission. So whatever is on that has to be exactly how you put it in SAM, because they're going to consider that your legal business name. If you have a comma after your name and LLC, that comma is very important. So enter that comma after your business name before the LLC. If you have any periods between the LLC, make sure you add that. On your street address, if you have drive, DR period, make sure it's not DRIVE. So it's very important that everything matches exactly, or else you won't, they'll send it back and you won't, they won't validate that. And then the registration for SAM, you know you're fully registered when you go through your core data. That's your address, your business, business name, your taxes, and all of that. And assertions are your NAICS code. So if you don't have a NAICS code, that's a 6-digit industry code number that you have to have, at least one. And then your reps and certs are the Federal Acquisition Regulations. So there's about 42 questions in there that consist of regulations that you have to understand and provide an answer for them. The IRS, once you submit it, you'll get an email from the IRS validating your tax information, and then an email from the DLA validating your CAGE information. And then you want to, ahead of time, look at your NAICS codes. In this website here, you can search for your NAICS codes, which is that 6-digit industry code, and put in keywords of what your products or services is, and they'll bring up a code. And just know that the NAICS codes are very broad. So you're going to have some things listed that you don't do. That's okay, as long as what you do is listed in that number. Once you're fully registered, once you get past your entity validation of address, they'll give you a UEI, a unique entity identifier. And make sure that when you're entering your tax information, it's exactly how your taxes are filed. So if it's filed in your name, then your name needs to be on the tax information. If it's filed in the business name, then it needs to be in the business name. If it's different, you won't get validated, and IRS will send you an email saying that it did not validate your information. Okay, and once you're registered in SAM, if you have no other updates, you'll start receiving notifications, emails saying that your SAM is going to expire. It'll give you a date. It should be 365 days from when you were activated. So just know that you'll get a notification. Your password is only good for 180 days. So just know that if you haven't gone in, you're going to have to create a new password. And that's usually not too hard. I haven't found any problems with that. Just remember those dates, 180 days password, and then 365 days to renew your SAM. Okay. With all of this being said, we assist. We've been doing this forever. It used to be CCR, then it went to SAM, and then SAM changed the DUNS numbers. So we've been through a lot of changes with SAM. And I just want to let everybody know that's not our site. It's not our portal. A lot of people call us and say, can you reset my password? Or, this system is, you guys are doing something with my system. It's not us, but we can help you get through whatever it is that you're going through with SAM. So just know that we can only view your profile from the public search. And it's all non-sensitive information. We don't see your tax information. We don't see your bank account. We don't see all of those sensitive information that you have entered. If you select not for public search, then we can't see anything, and you'll have to go in and let us know where the problem is. So if you're not going to be going after government contracting, then it's okay to check no, that you don't want your information out there. We'll send you the checklist for the documentation that you're going to need. If you complete that, there's nothing you're going to ever upload into SAM, but from the checklist, it's good to have that, have that ready. So when you get to that page, you can just enter that information. It's not something that we need. It's just something that you need to be ready to enter into the system. So if your IRS or your CAGE does not validate and they send you an email saying we didn't validate, your tax information or your address for your CAGE, that's something that we can assist you with. So it's not that, you're not ever going to get active in SAM. It's just we got to find out exactly what the problem is. And so we've been finding that I would say out of 10 SAM registrations, at least 2 or 3 go through smoothly. So, so hopefully, there's not a lot of problems when you do, for those of you who are not registered in SAM, when you start to get ready. But just contact us and we'll give you all the upfront requirements so that when you get into SAM, it can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. So just make sure you have all the documentation on hand when we're getting ready to assist you with your registration. So again, SAM is for federal government contracting. Or in this, you have to be in SAM for any grants, any 1099 workers. So large and small business, international businesses, they're all registered in SAM. Okay. Now we're going down to the state requirements. So state contracting. You want to research and find out who is using your products and services. And so when you go into certain portals that have opportunities, that's a good way to put in your keywords or your codes that are required to find out exactly what department, what state agency is using your services. Because not every agency uses your products or services, but there's several different ones that will be using it. So this is the Arizona Procurement Portal, and this is the website. So a lot of people, they're expecting to just pop right into registration. So this site has a lot of good information: e-procurement system, cooperative members, suppliers, state agencies. So if I was a small business, I'd be researching everything in this area because procurement is what are they buying? So for those that want to jump right in and get registered, you want to go into the supplier portal. So this is where you go, and if you see that little highlighted area, click here to register. You want to register your business and follow the guidelines. In this system, they have asterisks that are mandatory. So they have some helpful links. You want to go ahead and click onto those links if you're not familiar or you don't understand. You can also search for solicitations on the open solicitation link. So there is, a lot of information here. And like I said, if I was a small business, I'd be searching right there in the open solicitation, because when I register, I want to make sure I'm registering for the right opportunities for my business. Okay, so when you register your business, you got to identify your products and service codes, because that's really important when they're looking for small businesses to procure their opportunities. So you want to make sure you have the right codes and that you have the right keywords. You want to make sure you complete all fields, because if you're missing something, you may not come up in their search. Always check your emails, because usually when you register, they'll send you an email saying you have now registered, or click onto this link, whatever it is. Check your emails, check your spam if you don't see an email, just to make sure. And then for the Arizona Procurement Portal, whoever submits the registration will automatically become the supplier admin for your business. So just know that if you're having your administrative assistant or your office manager, whoever it is, they're going to become, in charge of this account. Okay, so this is just another screenshot of what the procurement portal looks like when you're registering. So you just want to make sure that all of that information is list it there. And my screen is really small, so I apologize for that. You'll get the slides and you'll be able to see this better, but you'll see the red asterisks, listed there. So you won't be able to move forward unless everything is filled out. Okay, now we're going to counties, registering for county. I picked Pima County, but all counties are different. So all I did was go in and Google the county, how to do business with Pima County. I could have done how to do business with Maricopa County. And you just want to make sure that you are in the area for small businesses. So I look at all of those tabs on top: recreation, health, development, business, community, environment, government. So the two tabs I would look at is business and government to find out exactly where the opportunities lie for my business. So once you find where the vendors, it could be vendors, small business, anything that is listing for, your business, you want to go into this. And this is pretty good because it says how to do business with Pima County. New vendor registration, solicitation portal, solicitation retrieval guide. So it has a lot of helpful links here. So like I said, I would start with the solicitation portal to see what's out there in my industry. And then once I find out what's out there, it gives me a better idea of how to register my business, because each portal, each county and city, they're different. They may be asking you to just put your information down and that's it, what you do and that's it. But some can be more sophisticated where it's going to ask you for codes, it may ask you for keywords. So you want to really make sure that you get everything about your business into the system, because you don't want to, again, fall short of their list that they're going to be combining or doing some research in. So they're always looking for qualified vendors, so make sure you list all of your capabilities in there. Okay. My page didn't. Are you guys seeing the page turn, Bob? Is the page? Mine's not showing that, it's changing.
I'm seeing the registering for counties.
Yeah, you don't see registration tips?
No.
Okay, let me try this. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so here's some tips on registering for counties. You want to get all of your information together before you register. A good way to have that, which I'm going to be presenting next week, is maybe your capability statement should have everything about your business on that. Your information for each location. If you have, more than one location, you want to make sure they know where to send things, where to find you. You want to have your tax information, of course, your legal business name. If you have a doing business as, you want to make sure you have that there. Your contact information, always have that. Whoever they're going to be talking to, have that person's name and all of their contact information. And who's going to be in charge of ordering and submitting payments. So, and always the description of your products and or services. So how you want to look at your products versus your competitors, go to their website, look at what they're doing, find out, what you can capture that you didn't capture for yourself, or other things that make you different from them, because the differentiators on why they should contract with you is really big and important. So make sure you look at all of those aspects before filling out and completing your registration. Okay, here's registering with cities. This is for the city of Flagstaff. And again, those tabs there give me an idea of where I want to go, the government and the business areas where I would be looking for these opportunities. So the city of Flagstaff has a vendor portal, and this, you just go in here, they have bid opportunities, and once you get into the system, it will have your contracts should you win a contract, and then certified vendors. So I would go in and find out, what does certified mean? because Arizona really doesn't have that, certified, vendor for women-owned or veteran-owned, minority-owned. They just have the small business enterprise. So what does that mean? So I would go and review and find out exactly what Flagstaff is looking for. Again, have all your information to register on their vendor registration. With this, let's go to the next page. I wasn't, I'm not a business, so I couldn't, go past this page, but I know there's some cities and counties that just want your name of your business, your contact name, your address, and what products and services you have. And then you automatically go on their vendor list. So really go and check out to find out exactly what is needed for each registration. Okay, for the city of Flagstaff, you register with the purchasing division. So there's a bunch of different departments, divisions, agencies that you may not think of. So I just called them and said, okay, if I'm a small business, where can I, register to become a vendor? So they said, oh, that's a purchasing division. So I said, okay. So they, this is just the vendor process. Has two phases. So it's, the phase one is information on your industry. And then phase two is more specific to your industry and it includes subcategories. So it gets a little bit more thorough. And so you want to complete that. So I thought that was very interesting to have a part one and part two. So, which is really good because you can tell a little bit more about what you do. Yeah. If you specialize, you have a little unique, system that you're running, you can actually enter that there. And always in each of these portals, sign up for bid match, bid notifications. Because once you sign up for them, anything that hits that keyword or that code you entered that identifies your industry, you should be getting an email saying, hey, this opportunity came up. And so those are the things that you want to be looking out for. Okay, we're coming to certifications for government contracting. I just want to say before we get into this, the certifications should be the icing on the cake. So you don't want to lead in any of your marketing efforts, any of your reasoning for going after a contract with I'm women-owned or I'm veteran-owned. You want your core competencies to speak about your business, because it's something that you're telling them that you're qualified in doing. And then on top of that, you're certified in these areas. So just having a certification will not get you a contract. Just letting you know that, a lot of companies sit there and they say, well, I'm certified and I haven't gotten any calls. And I said, well, they probably won't be calling you because you need to get out there and market your core competencies, your capabilities, so that they know what you're capable of providing for them. So just know that these are just added, for you to be moving to the next level. But you need to really think about what you're providing and how you're providing it to any government. So the federal government has set aside programs, certification programs in social economic categories. So the first one is the woman-owned, which out of all of the contracts that the federal government does, 5% has to go to women-owned small businesses. And so you want to really understand that the government has, they contract billions. And so out of that, 5% has to go to women-owned small business. And that's a lot. That's a lot of contracting that these women businesses can jump on. It's just, knowing when and who's contracting your products or services. And then the small disadvantaged business, that includes the 8A certification. That has jumped from 5% to 12%. So they're really pushing with the Biden's, administration. They pushed that up to 12. So there's a lot of governments that are now knowing that they have to meet that 12%. They have met that 5% every year. It's easy for them, some 8%, 10%. Some have been like 15%, but 12% is pushing it way up there. So they're going to be looking for a lot of these SDB companies. So just know that, you know, when you register in SAM, if you're a minority, that makes you small disadvantaged business. On top of that, you can get your 8A certification. And let's go down to the HubZone. The HubZone certification is only 3%, but the reason why that is red is because the federal government has never met that goal. It's only 3%, but it's a hard certification for them to contract. It's a hard certification for them to find businesses, because when you're located in a HubZone, it's the historical underutilized business zone, and it's usually in the area where you got low and unemployment, you know, in industrial areas, because there's some areas in Phoenix that are in a HubZone. So if you fall into that category, it's really good to have and to answer source of SOTS, which is looking for businesses that can provide, you know, provide services or products that the government is asking for. But the HubZone, it's not hard to get, it's hard to qualify, because 35%, we'll get into that anyway. So the HubZone has never been met by the federal government. And that's one area that we're going to focus in with the Arizona Apex. And then the service disabled veteran-owned small business is 3%. And that has just moved over to SBA. So I've heard good things about it. No problems as far as I know, and certification has been coming in quickly. So those are the 4 SBA's certification programs. Okay, so the SBA Women-Owned Small Business. This is the requirements to be a woman-owned small business. So you have to be small according to SBA size standard, and the woman has to have, it can be 1 or 2, but they have to have 51% or more owned and controlled by women who are US citizens. And the women have to manage, control, and operate day-to-day decisions. That is a must. So they don't want to have a woman sitting there and that, you know, is doing just maybe office work and is not really knowing anything about the business. So really make sure that the woman has that management control and operates the business on a daily basis. The economically disadvantaged certification, you have to meet all the qualifications for the women-owned, but you have to be, your personal net worth has to be less than $850,000. And with each woman, whoever qualifies as the 51%, they have to have $450,000 or less in adjusted gross income over the past 3 years. And the women each has to have 6.5 or less million or less in personal assets. So there's a little bit difference in EDWSB versus women-owned. So just the little thing to remember is that the women has to manage the operations, must hold the highest office position within the business. So she can't be a secretary, she can't be, you know, a manager. She has to be like the president, CEO, whatever it is. She has to hold the highest position. She has to work it full time during normal business hours, you know, 8 to 5, whatever, you know, during the day. It can't be, you know, I work my business after my, you know, day job. So she has to have the managerial experience required to run the business. So that comes in the form of her resume. So they're going to ask for a resume. So the resume has to show your experience in your industry, how you're able to run this business. And that has been a big red flag when they are reviewing all of your documentation. So you want to make sure you look over your resume and make sure your resume supports your business operations, you running this business. What was it that you did that qualifies you to be, the owner and manager and have control over the business? So you want to show that in your resume. Okay. Okay, here's our hub zone. So our hub zone has to be small and of course has to be 51% owned by a US citizen or community development corporation, an agricultural cooperative, Alaska Native Corporation, or Native Hawaiian organization, or an Indian tribe. So when you fall into the hub zone area, it's by location. Where do you live? That shows that you're in one of these zones. So your principal office has to be located in a hub zone, and at least 35% of your employees must live in a hub zone. It doesn't have to be in the same hub zone as your principal office, but it has to be in a hub zone. And that's where it's kind of hard because your employees, once you start, contracting and making more money, you start, paying your staff more, they may move out of that hub zone area into a better neighborhood, whatever it is. So it's that 35% is the stickler here. It's keeping your 35% employees in a hub zone. So, and just a little FYI, all of the tribal reservations are all hub zones, and they will always be hub zones. Whereas the other hub zone areas, they may fall out of the hub zone status depending on what is going on in the economy that brings that area up, So we have a hub zone map that we can look at, and it does state, who's falling out of the hub zone. So it gives you a grace period to maybe relocate your business or maybe, move to another area. So there's a lot of people who will call and ask, can you tell me if I'm in a hub zone or not? So, and some businesses will just automatically check, addresses of their employees just to see where they fall. So just know that, this is a very, that's the only thing that could be concerning is that 35% of its employees. But we have the Apex has the ability to escalate your application should you qualify for this certification. Okay, the veteran-owned small business and the service-disabled veteran-owned small business. This is now, like I said, under SBA. We have, I want to say, a good handful of businesses that have gone through this certification on their own and had no problem. So it's taken all of what the Veteran Administration, when they held this certification program, it's following the same exact guidelines. So, so you just, it needs to meet the definition of a veteran or service-disabled veteran. Again, the 51%. All certifications, you have to be 51% or more ownership, and you have to have that full control over the business operations. So you want to make sure that you have all of those conditions, and there's additional information that's going to be required on the checklist once you start the application. And the service disabled, they're just going to want to know how you're eligible to be service disabled, so you can just give them your disability letter, whatever it states. And you don't have to have a certain amount of percentage to be a service disabled veteran-owned small business. You can be service disabled with a 0%, and you're still eligible. So just keep in mind when you're kind of deciding whether you qualify in the service disabled portion. Okay, our next certification is the 8A Business Development Program. This is a great certification for businesses who are ready for this program. Obviously have to be a small business and have not participated in the 8A program previously. You have to be 51% owned and controlled by U.S. citizens who are socially and economically disadvantaged. You have to have a personal net worth of 850,000 or less, 400,000 or less of adjusted gross income and assets totaling 6.5 million or less. You have to demonstrate good character. There's a whole section in there on what they consider good character. Demonstrate the potential for success, such as having been in business for 2 years. Now, there is a 2-year waiver, but you have to demonstrate that you are a business that is growing. So we have a lot of businesses that want to start the 8A process, but don't know anything about it. And if you don't know anything about the 8A program, really start reading up on it, talk to other 8A certified businesses. It lasts up to 9 years. Well, it lasts 9 years. And 4 years, the first 4 years is developing your business into this potential prime contractor. So you want to understand what that involves. The last 5 years is a transitional years. So they want you to kind of start weaning yourself off 8A. Each year they'll give you a percentage. But you really should understand this certification because have been several businesses that have gotten into the 8A program and lost so many of those years. 8A seems long. I mean, 9 years seems long, but if you lose 2-3 years, you've lost a good portion of your transitional years. And so once you get to that 9-year and you understand the program, it's already too late. It's a one and done thing. You can't go back and say, okay, I want to start it over, or I want to create another business and do an 8A. You can't do it. So really understand the 8A certification and the business development program before even considering it. It's a long process. It takes almost over a year. I've had 2 clients who got certified and it took them over a year to get this certification. So really understand the program, understand that there's going to be a lot of paperwork that you're going to have to submit, background checks. There's a lot of stuff, but once you understand it, it's going to, lift your business to the next level. So just know that, we can sit down with you and explain the whole process and explain what you need to do to get ready for this program, because we want you to be successful at the 8A. We want you to utilize it to its full capable, ability to use that to, enhance your business and to reach the highest level that you can. So just know that it's a great certification program. And if you want to know more about it, just give us a call and we can sit with you one-on-one and explain it. Okay, and then we have A.DBE, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So we have, there's A.DBE and then there's the SBEs. So if you are located within Maricopa or Tucson, then you would be applying for the SBE, and I'll go into that next. So the A.DBE is very similar to the 8A, less paperwork, but very similar. But this personal net worth is you must have less than 1.32 million. And then your 3-year gross receipts average under 28.48 million. So they use SBA size standard, the DBE owner. And this certification for the state, women are considered disadvantaged. If you're a woman and you own 51% or more, you're eligible for the DBE certification. So the DBE, again, must manage, control, and operate day-to-day management decisions. So it's very similar to the other certifications and requirements that are that you need to go by. Okay, so the SBE, Small Business Enterprise. And if you're located in Maricopa County, you have to be in business for at least 6 months or complete 4 business contracts. The owner has a personal net worth of 1.32 million, same as DBE. Day-to-day controls day-to-day business operations, and the citizen or permanent legal resident is of the United States. So just a little note, you don't have to be certified for opportunities listed in the Arizona procurement portal. They don't have set-asides. You just need to be registered in that system, and the link will be included. Okay, so we go down to, okay, that was it. And so this is our staff. I'm the program manager. I forgot to take the interim off. And we have a Nicole Jackson who serves Phoenix and Mesa. We have Bob Mucci who serves Sierra Vista in Tucson. Amanda Howard, our program coordinator, assists with Sam in the Glendale office. So any Sam questions, if you want to get started in Sam, if you're having trouble in Sam, Amanda can help you get through. She's taken our overflow, so she can help you get through that system. And then we have Kate Dinge, our admin assistant who works part-time. Okay, any questions?
All right, Lori, we have a number of questions in our Q&A, so I'll read those out to you and you can help
Okay.
answer them.
Okay.
One question is, why is it so complicated to get registered in SAM?
It's because of all the changes that have been going through. They were contracted with Dun & Bradstreet, and they gave the contract to a new contractor. I can't remember the name, but GSA is in charge of that, and they contracted with, oh gosh, I can't remember the name. But since that contractor took over, they have upgraded and they have added more system checks, security checks in place. And the thing that we're running into, that we see that they're running into, is that verifying the address, because once they pull from Arizona Corporation Commission, not all the addresses will come up and verify that business. So we do have a SAM liaison that can escalate, any problems that come in on the first address check. So that's the reason why. There's just, there's too many things that have been upgraded and the systems is not, it's not working. They're constantly trying to fix the systems during weekends, which will create new systems come Monday. So just let us know if you're having problems, because we're facing the same thing. So we just want to make sure we get you through the system and get you activated in SAM.
Excellent. And then we have another one is, what if you never filed taxes on behalf of your business? What name do you use?
You use your name, because you file, taxes. So you would use your name. If this is for the certifications, that's what they want to see, is that you at least are up to date on your taxes, because they will ask you if you have had any past delinquent taxes. Now, if you don't need to, I'm not sure how long you've been in business, but there would be a question on why you haven't, because I do have a business who is tax exempt, a military person. He had all the paperwork that was needed to satisfy the taxes on not filing taxes for his business. So as long as you have documentation on why, they'll take that into consideration.
Okay. And then another one is, does someone help us to register in procurement? Yes, we can help you register for, if you're talking about finding opportunities, like who's procuring in your industry. Yes, we can help you. We can help you and show you how to research and find out who has procured in your industry for the federal government, where is the past, contracts been, so that you're not searching at Luke Air Force Base for something that was in the Land Bureau Management. So. Right. And then, is this process similar for universities? So I guess we're trying to give business contracts to universities.
Well, universities will probably have their own, procurement portal or opportunities listing. I don't know what the university's requirements are, but I would suspect that they have like maybe a vendor portal or a portal that you can go into and register your business. I know that they may be using cooperative agreements. So just a lot of research is done to find out exactly how to work with a entity, whether it be the government, university, school district, so even the hospitals. So it would just be researching and finding out what the requirements are.
Okay. And here's a really good question, is because this one ties in to people that may be applying and winning contracts. Is there any funding that we can apply for to help with payroll for these contracts that we win?
Okay, so that's a big, wide open question. So what we do is when we're working with you, we want to look at your business to make sure you're financially stable, because we let you know that the government, when you win a contract, you're not going to get any money up front. You're going to have to submit an invoice, and it could be, it could be delayed because maybe you're missing something on your invoice. So we assist you in how to upload that invoice, but we let you know that you have to be able to cover your rent, your lights, your subcontractors, your employees, your overhead. But if you don't, then we would send you to the small business development centers, because they work more with the financial side of it to find out exactly, are there loans out there? Are there factoring companies? What works best for you, at this time? If you're holding a contract and you need to execute on it, you're going to need money fast. So you're going to have to find out how you're going to be able to start that contract with whatever funding you can get, because we have had some contractors come in and say, I don't have money to, to provide, the contractor with my services. So make sure you're financially stable, because contracting is very good, very lucrative, but you have to be financially stable in order to get to that next level. So the small business development centers would be the place to start on finding out the funding part of a contract.
The next one we have is also a good question. For hub zones, do 1099 workers qualify as an employee?
No, they don't. So it's just whoever's on your payroll that you pay taxes and, your fringe and all of that. So 1099 workers don't qualify.
All right. And then we have, can we get a hub zone map? So do you have the link for that? I have a link that can be used. I'm going to post in the chat.
Okay, yeah, it's just a link, and like I said, it's changing. So you just put your address in there or put a county in there, and then it'll show you different areas that are hub zone.
Another tool for Arizona is the link I just posted in the chat. Goes to our website for our data and tools, and you'll find the Arizona asset map. And one of the functions in the search there is to see the hub zones. So you can see that as well in that location. But I know on the hub zone website, you can also search for the maps. Let's see. So are there initiatives like Small Business Enterprise and DBE and other counties, cities in the US?
Initiatives as what's going out? I mean, what's being pushed is,
So
can you clarify
I
that?
guess I'm going to say that yes, there are a lot of the DBE, the 8A that Lori talked about, our national programs. HubZone's a national program. So there are some national programs, and then the state may also have some DVE programs, depending on what state you're in. Some cities have them as well, so you have to look on the city information as well. But your local, if you're not in Arizona, your local Apex Accelerator office can help you with that.
And also, with the new 12% for minority businesses, a lot of prime contractors are now looking at the subcontractors that fall into that category. So we are being contacted to partner with these prime contractors so that they can provide you with steps on how to contract with them. So what our position is right now is getting you up to that speed of, yes, do you have a security plan in place? Whatever it is that they're looking for. So I know the minority 12% is being really pushed. And I'm hearing down the pipeline that 8A is going to be pushed too. So that falls under the minority, the small disadvantaged business, 12% for the federal government.
Okay. And then one of the questions asked about the contest. Can you go back one slide, Lori?
Sure.
And then just leave that slide up so people can see those contact information.
Okay.
And then we have another one from Lisa Glenn Nolis. Welcome, Lisa. If business is located in Washington now, but registered in Arizona, am I still eligible to work with the state of Arizona?
So if the headquarters of your business is in Arizona, then you get the full service of our program. If it's headquarters in Washington, we can still work with you, but some of the services may be limited because our funding is for Arizona. So like our bid match, that's at a cost for us. So if we sign you up for bid match, we want to make sure that it's, for an Arizona-based headquartered company, because you can get that same service from Washington Apex.
Excellent. We have another that says, do contracts have a minimum or have a maximum limit? For example, labor costs per hour, per diem. In some counties, those rates are so low that it's not worth bidding as they're under market value.
It just depends on what the contract states, and it depends on where that's coming from the federal to state to the local governments. So the key is to read that contract's requirements to find out exactly what they're asking. For the federal, they could use Davis-Bacon, so it just depends. Not all federal uses that, so it's always good. I mean, and it's stated in the contract, so you need to read that. And we say read that RFP or whatever it is, solicitation, 3 times and write out what's the statement of work, what are the evaluation criteria, what's the formatting, and kind of get to understand what they're asking for, because you don't want to go after that and sign a contract that you're not able to, pay for your subs or pay for your labor, or include that cost in your for traveling, because it may be in a different city. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration when you're going after a contract. And yes, you need to be able to make money on it. And the government is not looking to, put you out of business. They want you to provide them a solution to their problems that they have.
Right. And to tie in with that, and this will help wrap it up because we're right at time. It says if a business is small and new, how is it stable financially? We're talking about that, and I'll kind of answer that. New businesses, one of the things you can look at if you're thinking government contracting or contracting with other businesses in general that you're going to be sending an invoice before you get paid. One of the things you may want to look at is an equity, or is a line of credit. And those are much easier to get when you're first starting your business and you're setting up your bank account, talk to your business banker. So you may not want to take a loan right now, but you may be able to get a line of credit. And that line of credit may be able to cover you and your expenses while you're waiting for those invoices to get paid. And so that's part of that stability, is showing that you have that ability to survive while you're waiting to get those invoices paid. And if you plan for that at the start, and again, the SBDC can help you in that business planning process, look at those options, pencil out that business plan to make sure you have a stable foundation you're working from in your plan. So hope that helps. So with that,
Bob, can I
yes.
add one little tidbit to that? Is you don't have to jump into a large contract. Look for their P cards, their purchase cart holders, and start small on something that you are able to execute on. So that is, you know, it's not going to cost a lot. You know, they pay by credit card, you know, whatever it is. So you don't have to get into these big RFPs. Start small and start building on your ability to, you know, create your income so that you have cash flow. So you don't always have to start big, or you can subcontract. So find those smaller jobs that will start generating income.
Excellent, great point. That's a great way to wrap up. So we are just a hair over.
Okay.
So, thank you, Lori, for being with us today. Great presentation.
Thank
A lot
you.
of great information. And please join us next week, because Lori's back on